Welcome. In front of me is an Honor Magic 7 Lite, and today I'll go over an unboxing along with a quick look at the device and its specifications. Let me just look for the device. I didn't actually prepare that right before I started recording, so there we go. So, opening it up. There we go. Get in. Put the phone upside down for some reason. Yep, it just was straight up upside down, but I guess it can be put in anyway. Okay. So there we go, that's everything that we get in the box. Not much in terms of like accessories. We just have a cable and paper and actually, well, the phone. But in terms of the phone, let's start with that. I'm gonna first mention the price of this device, which, if that is correct, for an Honor device, again, that's going to be way too expensive no matter what they most likely are offering. And it seems to be... Okay, so it's not as expensive as they have it on GSM Arena. GSM Arena has it a little bit exaggerated, but it's still on a higher end price. Oh, maybe not higher end. It's about, what is it, $300? You just kind of looking at it, a little bit more. $400. That would be the correct price. $400, which includes already tax. So with that out of the way, let's go into the specifications, and you can be the judge of it if you think that $400 is justified for a phone like this. So starting off with the display, we have a 6.78-inch display with a resolution of 1224 by 2700 pixels. It is an AMOLED display, 1 billion colors, 120 Hz refresh rate, and peak brightness of whopping 4000 nits. It also boasts a 90% screen to body ratio and a pixel density of 437 pixels per inch. Display wise, we have a pretty decent display right here. Now, if we then go into the internals, we also have a not bad device. So let's begin with the battery. We have the new battery type, I presume. Let me just quickly change. Yep, it's a silicone-based one. So that is a 6600 mAh battery. The phone is relatively small, as you can possibly see. So fitting previously a battery of this size would have been an impossibility. But now you can have the same footprint of a battery with a higher capacity and also charge it faster. And we have a 66 watts charging speed right here. So device is small, compact, and yet it packs over 6,500 mAh battery, which is fantastic. Now, in terms of RAM, we have 8 GB of it and 256 or 512 GB of storage built in the device with no expandable storage type. Next, it is being powered by Snapdragon 6 Gen 1. Excuse me, what? Gen 1? Are you clowning me here? Is this a typo? I am going to literally go out of my way to check if this is a typo. There is no way they want this much in this case for a Snapdragon 6 Gen 1 in 2025. And it is a Gen 1. Wow! That is insulting in this case. Okay. Now, let's just continue on. I am gonna, at the end, kind of explain where I'm coming from and why I consider this to be an absolute scam in terms of value for your money. And you can decide what you think about it with my kind of phones as a recommendation comparison to this one and also its price tag. So finishing this off, let's now talk about the cameras. So we have what looks to be a dual camera setup only, though this one looks either like it's fake or just a 2 megapixel macro or something like that. So the main sensor is a 108 megapixel f1.8 aperture wide sensor with optical image stabilization, and then we got a 5 megapixel f2.2 ultra wide. Apparently that's a 5 megapixel. I would never have guessed that one. And it's an ultra wide with f2.2 aperture. Now those cameras, you can record videos at 4K up to 30 frames and 1080p also up to 30 frames only. And then at the front we have a selfie cam, which is in this bit wider kind of hole punch camera, inspiration from Apple, I guess. It's a 16 megapixel f2.5 aperture wide sensor that does 1080p at 30 frames as well. So very disappointing for how much space it's taking at the front of your screen. And lastly, going into the build quality, we have aluminum frame. I'm pretty sure that's a glass back, but I could be wrong, and it's not mentioned here. Yeah, I don't see the mention of the back, but I believe this is glass. And the device also comes with a drop resistance up to 2 meters. I wouldn't be testing that out. And IP64 dust and water resistance. And then at the front we have unspecified glass right here, so I don't know if it's covered with a corner Gorilla Glass or something like that. So not much there. Then in terms of all around the device, what's happening, we have some microphones at the top. We have on the left side nothing. On the bottom we have our SIM tray. This is dual SIM tray, microphone, charging port, speakers, and then on the right side we get our power button, volume rockers, and that's about it. And then under display fingerprint sensor. All that for whopping $400, including tax. Now if I were to now give you the recommendation of another device, that would be the CMF Phone 1 from Nothing. And that device, though it doesn't have the silicon-based battery, because of that it has only 5000 mAh battery. I'm saying only, it's still a pretty decent battery size. But it also has 6 to 8 gigabytes of RAM and more importantly a Dimensity 7300 processor, which will be faster than what this is. So this is basically Snapdragon like 7 Gen I think 2 speeds when you talking about the Dimensity, while this is Snapdragon 6. When it comes down to the Snapdragon 6, 7 and 8, these are kind of like tiers. So 6 is the lowest tier, and in that they have generations, so each generation gets faster. 7 does the same thing, and 8 does the same thing. We are right now at Gen basically 4. What could be described as Gen 4, though the naming scheme, at least for Snapdragon 8, changed into now Ultra or something like that, or Elite, I don't remember, but whatever. So with that in mind, this is Gen 1 processor of the lowest tier of Snapdragon, at least I think it's the lowest tier, while the phone that costs half the price comes with a newer and faster, basically in terms of tiers, a higher tier processor with 1080p AMOLED display, 120 Hz refresh rate, peak brightness of 2000 nits, a 85% screen to body ratio with 400 pixels per inch density. Android wise it's going to be about the same. It comes with a expandable storage, 128 gigabytes of storage out of the box and goes up to 256, but like I said, it is expandable. Camera wise we have 50 megapixel wide sensor and 2 megapixel depth one. Depth one is basically a sticker camera, I'm not gonna sugarcoat that, but it does 1080p up to 60 frames, unlike this one that does it up to only 30. And the selfie is also a 16 megapixel that does 1080p at 30 frames. So in general, for $200 you have about the same or better device in terms of speeds than what you get right here for half the price. So it really boils down to how much you want to waste your money for basically a Chinese phone that would be called Honor, but in reality we all know it's Huawei, that was going to be spying on you, and then yeah, you just getting kind of shafted because you get to overpay for this device while not getting really anything substantial here, I would say. It's an outdated device, and I'm talking about like outdated by massive amount of time, nearly 3 years of age, that has been released now for a price of a mid-range device while it's rocking low-end specifications in terms of processor. So yeah, for $400 you can get a much better device than what you have right here. So I wouldn't recommend picking this up ever. Now, with that being said, hopefully you found this very helpful, and if you did, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.